Yeah, I agree with you, and I actually have a question for you.
Sure.
Because I'm an atheist, and I actually found that like all of the holy books seem to have the same problem. Like for example, like if you look at the Bible in Genesis 1:2,
Okay.
it says that there was water in the beginning. How do you understand
Actually,
that?
even this is proven to be scientifically, and you don't need to believe in what I say. You can search it.
Okay.
When the Earth was created, even according to science, the whole Earth was covered by water, and by time the ground was appearing in the top. So when God He created the whole Earth was covered by water. Actually, until now, the Earth is less than 30% of 70% water. Right? So even science proved that, and this is for me, I saw many articles speaking about it, and you can search. Don't have to take my word for granted. Use your brain.
Okay.
As we encourage always people to same time. You see, when the Bible speak in the book of Genesis about the creating of the earth, there's no way that God He is talking about how really He created the earth. I mean, in details, because if you are an engineer, right? Software engineer. Okay.
Well, yeah, software. Yeah, I'm in software. Yeah.
So if you want to do, if you want to read JavaScript, how many books you need to study?
Well, nowadays you go online because the
I
thing's
know, but I
changing
mean,
so much.
it's big, right? It's not a you cannot put it in 500 pages, right?
Yeah,
and it's just the JavaScript is not a big deal. So what about God? He want to give us a book to explain how He created the whole world. So if you want to explain to us how He made the eye, He need to give us maybe 50 books. Just the eye alone, So the Bible is not really giving us details about how God He created. It's the simple details for the man who have a simple understanding. So it is not really a details of a creation as much it is in a simple way.
Okay. So is there anything in the Bible that shows it's actually from God, like something greater than what the people back then would have known, like prophecies, something like that?
Well, like for us, first of all, the Bible is not meant to be a book of science. It is as an example, if I say to you right now, and you are an atheist, well, Jesus was a son of a virgin. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's not science.
Yeah.
Okay. This is not have nothing to do with science. This is what we call a miracle.
Yes.
Okay. So when you speak about science, it's not the Christians who try to make the book of God a book of science. A book of belief is different from book of science. But I can explain science in different way. As an example, for me, as a believer, once I was sitting with an atheist. Actually, he come to a church, and after the church, every time he make fun of them, like, and he said he's an eye doctor. Actually, they asked me just to come and maybe I can do something with this guy who they don't know what to answer him. So,
okay.
He said to them, "You guys, you are funny. You wanna convince me that Jesus He put some sand on the eye of somebody and He made him see?
Yeah.
Supposedly that's the blind man, right?" And I said to him, "What do you do, sir? What do you do for a living?" He said, "I'm an eye doctor." I said, "Isn't it you who put sand every day on the eyes of people to make them see better?" He said, "What?" He said, "Don't you every day put sands on the eyes of people to make them see better?" He said, "But this is different." I said, "No. If I come to you 2,000 years ago and I say I will bring you something made of sand, put it in your eyes and you will see different, you will laugh at me.
Yeah.
Because you don't understand.
You're talking about glasses, right?
The glasses is made of sand.
Yeah.
Simply, it's made of sand. So
Yeah.
because you don't understand, something is beyond your understanding right now. That is for you is funny or is stupid, But in fact, it can be happened. But all the point is, I do not know about it. I never saw it, so I don't believe it. Same as if I say to Abdullah, maybe if we are born in the 12th century, I told you there is one day somebody will speak to you in China and you can hear him in America. Right away you will say to me, "You are crazy."
Yeah.
They will put me in the hospital of crazy people and nobody will believe me and they will laugh at me. So science is not really science as much as like it's not fake because it's fake. It's fake because we don't believe. And same as believe, which means it not necessarily can be fake, but because you don't believe in that, you decide to make it fake. So if I say to you, there is something that's called wave, a radio wave, 1,000 years ago, you will make fun of me, but even though it's true, because it's beyond the imagination, and there's no way I can understand. This is stupid. I mean, what are you talking about? What if I say to you, I will speak in my TV right now, and I will speak in China, and you can see my image in USA. This guy's crazy, take him out of here, So, but today is accepted because we saw it, we believe it, right?
So do you say the same about the Bible, that it's something we can never understand fully?
No, it's not about we can never. It's about we experience. When you experience, you believe it. Okay. This is what even what science is. Science is about experience things, and then you believe it. So for me as a Christian, when I experience the belief, then which means the first thing you do, you have a belief. And where does the belief come from? Because you became a confident in something. How you became confident in something? I see things around me, which is really proving to me that there's a truth there. I mean, until now, there's tons of miracles, and for sure, a person who's an atheist, he will not believe in them. But they happen, and I witnessed them, and they happen, and nobody can explain. Even today, you go to a doctor who's a scientist, and there's a guy that say he have a cancer. Forget about God, and then he says to you how he was recovered. It's a miracle. Even doctors, they use that term, miracle. When they use that term, only when they cannot explain how. Why? We don't know. It's a miracle. So God is beyond our comprehend. So we call him, he himself is a miracle.
So don't Muslims say the same thing? They say that, I did ruqya, and it was, he became healed, and it's a miracle, and the doctors can't explain it. People say they read Quran, and everything changed in their life. Like even Hindus sometimes will say that they went to the doctor, and he couldn't help, but then they went to the shaman, and he did something, and he blew on them, and then they became better. And they say you can't explain it through science.
See, Jesus said, believe in a stone, you will recover. Which means believe is very helpful, and even science proved that. All right? So when you are a person who believe, even if you believe in a stone, which is it's false. It's fake. All right? But if that stone became a belief for you, your belief will help you.
But that's called placebo effect, right? That's like
no problem.
When you think you're taking a pill. So when they do a scientific study, they always give you a placebo. Because the effect on you think is going to help you, but like obviously a placebo cannot cure cancer. It might make you feel better. No. But
no. Actually, even science. Let me tell you. According to science, a person who don't want to fight death, he will die.
Say that again.
A person who don't want to fight death, he will die. If he want to die, he die. That's it. Like I will tell you a story, which maybe it's funny. We have a I was in high school, all right, and there's a guy, he want to go with us in like we are going like a school trip, but he is very boring, annoying, and he is like stuck like a glue on us. So they told me we don't want him to go, and I said, okay, well, let us practice some Islamic method. They said, what? They said, let us practice taqiyya. I said, what is that? He said, when he come, every one of you see him alone, say to him, why your face is yellow? Why you look like that? What's look your eyes? The guy, he came, he's fine. And then the first guy, he said to him, why your face is like this? And we are kids, we are just like not adult. I mean, this is a kid, So man, what's happened to your face? Why your eyes look red? And are you okay? And the guy, he start, no, I feel fine. And they start, and then the first one spoke to him, the second time, the third, the fourth. And then after 9-10 people, they spoke to him. He went to the director. He asked for a sickness, illness. Because he decided to believe he's sick, so he's getting sick. And then after 3-4 days, he did not come to school. He gets sick for real. We went there. He have a fever. He made himself believe he's sick. All right.
That's his form of bullying, right? Because you're inflicting psychological abuse on someone.
Right.
But isn't that also how religion works? When everyone around you says, "Yeah, I believe," and then you also say, "Well, if everybody else believes, I must be wrong, and I should believe too."
No.
Without any evidence.
What we are doing. I just showed you an example. If you convince yourself, not only because I cannot convince you unless you convince yourself. If you convince yourself in something, you will be that thing. All right. Now, in the case of Christianity,
Yes.
if I want to convince myself that Jesus is God, still I have to put my God into test, and that test
Okay.
is, do he match with the words he say? It's not just I say something and then I go with that and I believe it blindly. As an example, you said that the Muslims, they do raqiyah, which means they read Quran to heal themselves.
Yes.
Muhammad himself, he was poisoned. Muhammad himself was under black magic, and he is the one who said, if you eat 7 ajwa, you will be fine, right?
Yeah.
But that does not happen to Jesus. Jesus, he touched the man he cannot see, and he saw. Jesus, he told the man he cannot walk, he walked.
So how do we know this though? Like, how do we know these stories are true and not just made up?
Well, it happened every day. Maybe for you it's hard to believe, but there's millions of stories of people, they are healed by God, and are healed by his name. It's not fake.
Aren't people also healed by shamanism and like I said?
You can be helped, as I said, by believing. Just having a belief, it gives you strength.
Okay. But that's still, placebo then, right?
But still, that's not a miracle.
That's not a miracle.
That's not a miracle. We are talking about things is incredibly cannot be explained.
Okay.
And if I start quoting for you things, you might say, because he's a Christian, he is he's trying to convince me that it's true. But I advise you to search for miracles where a Christian, they witness them for real, and they are real. They are not just not a guy saying something. You will see a guy, he was believing in something, and suddenly he became something else just because he saw a vision, and that vision impacted his life. So seeing, knowing, and experiencing is what Christianity is about.
Isn't I hear this a lot from Christians that they saw visions of Jesus. I mean, I remember even when I was a Muslim and I was doing a dawa booth, we had this one lady, she was crying and she came to us and she said Jesus appeared to her in a dream and told her, I can't remember what she said, but basically she was very, very touched by this personal experience that she had. But then people also say they saw Muhammad in dreams, right? And then they said Muhammad told me this and that, and it came true, which is like such, to me, I'm like, I don't believe that, but they say the same thing about Muhammad. So how do we know like who's right and who's wrong? Like if I'm an atheist, one person says Jesus appeared to me in a dream, the other person says Muhammad appeared to me in a dream, and I'm an atheist. I don't know, like, how do I know what to believe?
First of all, somebody appearing for me in a dream, it can be just a dream. I mean, a dream is a dream. It can be a vision from something real, or it can be just a dream. However, we don't believe in Jesus because of a dream. Maybe somebody he does, this is his business,
Okay.
Maybe it's a message for him. Maybe it's true and maybe it's fake. Maybe it is right. Maybe he is imagining. I don't know. But for me, I don't believe in Jesus because I saw a dream. I saw his wisdom. I saw his amazing teaching, I saw his ability, and I saw his power. Same time, I noticed that everything have the fingerprint of a creator. Like you see, like in science, they say to you, most of animals, they have the same structures, right?
You mean they all come from DNA, right?
Like let us say a form of life,
like eyes or something.
Yeah, but that is because of the same creator, the same engineer. Not because of because simply if he is a one person who created all those things, so it's very clear. Like if Picasso, he made an image, and it's very normal to see that Picasso, he have the same kind of image but different drawing, but it's still, we can know that this is Picasso. An expert can know that this is the same artist, the same person, and this is exactly for God. So when we speak about God in Christianity, we do not need to prove him by science, because science today can be proven to be wrong tomorrow. Science is not really, they call it fact, but I don't believe in this kind of, it's called a fact. Like as an example, there's things we can understand. Like if you say the earth is a flat, obviously it's wrong, right? Because this is, we do not need to debate about it no more. But still there's a lot of things in science it is not really proven,
Okay.
But they call it science. As an example, they say to you the Big Bang theory. It's a theory actually, but because they adopted, the majority adopted, they start saying, and then the Muslim, they adopt the Big Bang just to make you believe that Islam in agreement with the Big Bang, but the fact Islam does not agree even with that one. And neither
do you not believe in the Big Bang? You don't believe in the Big Bang?
Well, you see, the Big Bang for me, I find it silly and stupid because it says that something explode, but there's nothing.
What do you mean?
How there's nothing and there's something explode?
it was a point of infinite density
It
where
doesn't
all
matter.
of matter and energy was
But they
in
cannot
a
explain
single
to us
point.
where is that coming from.
Well, it may have always existed. It could have been eternal matter.
You see how it can be that how this eternal matter exists, but you did not create to me, you did not explain to me the creation yet, because what created the creation is not explained yet. So what is the science?
So if to go back to the Big Bang, you're right that we don't have an explanation as to where the matter came from the Big Bang. But like I wrote this on my blog, which I found it very interesting because I only started studying this like after I left Islam. There's 3 different reasons why the Big Bang is true. One of them is Einstein and his theory of general relativity, which predicted the universe was expanding. So because of Einstein actually doubted his own science, because at that time everybody believed the universe like it didn't think it was expanding. They thought it was a static universe. So because of this, he's like, no, I must be wrong. My physics is all wrong. And he actually made what he called the biggest mistake of his life, which was to add a constant in order to adjust for the expanding universe, because he couldn't believe it was expanding. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that in 1964, 2 American radio astronomers discovered the cosmic microwave background radiation, which is a leftover from the explosion of the Big Bang. And last of all is actually Edward Hubble, who looked into space and saw that the universe was expanding, right? So based on that, we know that at some point, the universe, if you reverse it, the universe is closer together. And now we know, like, the universe is expanding like faster and faster every day, so that, we're getting further and further. Like if you look at the star, it's actually moving away, right? So that's why I believe in the Big Bang, because I think there's like 3 different evidences for it.
Well, first of all, the universe is expanding is written in thousands of years before science find that in the Bible, and we don't talk about it. The Bible says that,
Okay.
The Bible says that God, he scratched the sky the same as a curtain. All right. If you go to the book of Job, chapter 37, you will see that is how he spread the sky, how he extend the sky, same as in the book of Jeremiah. So we don't try to apply science from, like, we don't try to apply what the Bible says on science.
But doesn't the Quran say that too?
No, the Quran does not say. The Quran
what is this Musiyun? How do you translate Musiyun?
Musiyun, that we can do more. This is a false statement.
Translation.
Yes, this is a false translation and false. It's a lie, simply.
So I understood that Musiyun has 2 meanings. One that means big, vast, and the other one that means expanding. So Muslims like the one that says expanding now.
No,
but like in the past, they used to use the one that meant really big.
No, you see, if you go to the verse, always when you try to understand something, ask yourself why Muslims for centuries, 14 centuries, they did not make it about what they claim now. Why today suddenly it became something else?
Yeah.
All the scholars before Islam, before the Muslims, they did not understand the Arabic very well. Suddenly now they understand better. So this is the question we need to ask ourselves, because this is obviously proving that this is kind of a lie. They fabricate, they fabricate the meaning, they change the meaning. And if you go to chapter 2, verse number 236, it says, "Al-muwassi'u qudrahu." There is a meaning for the word where it's make it bigger. All right.
Yep.
But when you go to read the interpretation, you will find that this is mean that Allah, he is going to even build more. It's not about scratching.
Which one was that again? Sorry.
This is a chapter. You can go chapter 51, verse number 47, and we can go right now to the interpretation. 51:47.
51:47. Okay, yeah. That's the one I'm talking about. Yes.
Yeah. So if you go to the interpretation, you will see the Muslims don't agree with the scholars don't agree with the Muslims fabrication these days. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is Ibn Abbas in English, and always remember, English translation is a little bit different from the Arabic one. It's kind of, funny.
Yeah.
So read with me carefully. He has become capable and strong. So the word Musi'un, Allah saying, I am capable even of more. As simple as that. Have nothing to do with the scratching the heaven, or sorry, expanding the heaven and the earth. And you notice that the Christians, they don't, like, if you go to in the book of Isaiah.
Yeah.
In the book of Isaiah, let me see if I can get you the verse from the Bible. It was in the screen so people can read with me.
Tell me the one as well, so I can look it up, because I can't.
This is the book of Isaiah in the screen.
Isaiah,
right? Chapter 40, verse number 22.
Okay.
It says that it is he that he sitteth upon the circle of the earth. The earth is a circle. This translation, by the way, it's not. Yeah. And then he said, and the inhabitants therefore are as a grasshopper.
Yeah.
And that stretched out the heaven as curtain, and he spread them out as a tent in dwell in. I mean, this is a book written thousands of years before scientists discovered that the earth is not flat. You know. So
doesn't that, like, a circle could still be flat though, like a coin, right?
No, circle is not. No, circle is like
a globe, or a ball would be not flat, but a circle is flat, right?
Circle. No, circle is the shape. Is not really. You see, when you say a circle, are you talking about one circle?
I don't know.
Or it is a circle, all of it. So it is all of it circle. So when we apply that the earth, all of it is a circle, that's mean all of it is a circle, not only the side of it. When you say a circle in the way you are saying,
but that's not circle, then that's globe, or that's actually, ball.
This is
ball is different from circle, right?
There is better translation. It's not even a globe. It is like.
So do they have tafsir for the Bible too?
Yes, for sure. But you will find that this is just a translation. Translation here use the word circle. Remember, we're not reading the original thing, but and you can go and read the interpretation for the Bible, which is really exist from the beginning, not today. I mean, nothing changed. So this is how the earth looked like, and then it says there that he stretches the heaven as a curtain, and this is exactly what you are talking about as the Big Bang, right? That
yeah.
Okay, but we don't make science of this. You don't see Christians bragging about, look what the Bible says, right?
Yeah.
And maybe this is the first time you hear this. Yeah. So we don't talk about it because we are not going to prove God because somebody he says there's a Big Bang. That is silly for me, because the Big Bang, first of all, is not to be proven. If somebody says there was something, a power, and then
do you believe in Einstein? Like Einstein equals MC squared, which is the foundation of all of Einstein, like science today.
Okay, Einstein, Newton, they have many theory, and later they found that even their theory cannot be not all of it is correct. As an example, since you are a child, you heard that the apple fell down from the tree.
Yeah.
And okay, because the apple fell from the tree, that's mean the big mass would have grabbed the small mass, correct?
Yes.
But later they discover that is not true always.
Yeah.
If the mass became so small, the big mass have no impact on it.
You're talking about quantum mechanics now?
I'm not sure about the name. Excuse me. Like my English is not really that. It's not my first language to say the term for you in English. But if it is so small, then the so small is free. To the point, the big mass don't control it. Like there's a dust flying in the space, and yet they are not controlled by a planet. They are not grabbed by the planet. They are not grabbed by a star. They are not grabbed by anything.
But when humans go on the moon, like there's less gravity, and we fly, like we jump up and down, and we can jump much higher.
Yeah, but the human is not that small. We're talking about so small, and because you are so small, then the control of the gravity is gone.
But we can also simulate zero gravity by dropping a plane. Have you seen these planes? They drop it at the same exact speed as gravity, and you can float in the airplane.
Yeah,
so it's like you can experience zero gravity, because gravity is 9.8 meters per second. So if you drop at exactly the same speed as 9.8 meters per second, it cancels out gravity, and you can fly just like you're in space.
Right. But I'm saying that according to scientists, this is not my statement. I don't know even what they are saying. I am not a scientist. I did not go to the lab with them. They were saying, and I saw it, and you can search for it, that they found that Newton, I think it was Newton they are talking about.
Yes. Yeah.
That his theory, it was accurate for a long time, but lately they discover that not all of it is accurate.
I know what you're talking about. Newtonian mechanics are true at the size of large objects, but when you get into the very, very, very tiny objects, so at the quantum level, then things don't behave the way we expect them to do. Right. So particles pop in and out of existence. A particle can be described as being in all places at once, like crazy, mind-blowing things that nobody expected, right? So quantum mechanics is very difficult. And someone once said that if you think you understand quantum mechanics, that means you don't understand it. So yes, at the very small level, Newtonian physics break down. Yeah. But that is correct, actually. But we never threw out Newtonian physics, because Newtonian physics is still correct for like large size objects. So like, for example, for me, if I drop a ball or if I drop anything, we know it's going to drop at 9.8 meters per second because like this is at the size of things that matter to us. But quantum, we're talking about like microscopic particles, right? Like very, very, very tiny particles.
Yeah, but remember, for a century, for all the time since Newton, he came with this theory. We take for granted, we don't talk about the small one, we granted or everything functioning in the same way. But now they discover that there's an exception.
Yes.
Right? So even what it's called, like we know for it, or we are sure from it, even that can be an exception. And I believe too that if we change locations, it can be, the exception would happen. We understand what it's called physics based on the physics we have, but maybe in a different area, the physics is different.
Yeah.
If we go different galaxy, maybe the nature law is different. We are judging about experience. Remember, science is an experiencing thing, not about really like come with something. It's already there, but we just discover it, right?
Yeah.
But maybe tomorrow we'll discover something else might contradict something we have. For centuries, people those who they call themselves scientists, they thought the Earth is flat, and yet they are scientists.
Yes,
they are the philosopher of their time. They are the scientists. They are the wise men, and yet later we find that they are not accurate. So what can be accurate today, it might be wrong tomorrow.
But things do stabilize, right? Like, so example, like gravity, for example, we know that it's unlikely that will change. That understanding is unlikely to change. And as we as humanity progress, we build upon like what past nations and past people have built. Like as someone said, we're standing on the shoulders of giants. Like we're basically building on like what people before us figured out, right? Basically.
My friend, let me tell you, I don't really, science for me is not a science. Science for me is finding out things around us. They call it science.
that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay. They call it science, but I don't believe in it, because finding things around us is not really science. Science should be for something different. It should be me able to do something with what I found out, and this is what it should be called, science, not the discovery.
That's what it is, right? Because once you have the theory behind it, then you can build lasers, you can build GPS satellite systems.
But since they come with the theory of the Big Bang, what they can come with it, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. This is what I'm talking about. So I came to you and says, hey, this is how the Earth is created, and there's no Big Bang's theory is the same as a Muslim saying to me, Muhammad, he went to the moon.
Okay.
He have no witnesses. He have no proof. He have a theory.
You don't believe people went to the moon? Oh, you said Muhammad went to the moon.
No, Muhammad, he went to the sky and in top of the flying donkey. So we don't. You see here, I see that sometimes there's a hypocrisy in those who believe in blind science. Okay, either you believe in the Big Bang and you prove it to me, or don't mention it. Can you prove it? You cannot. The same as you said to me, prove to me God.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
it's different though, because we have evidence for the Big Bang that is in the form of cosmic background radiation, in the form of successful science and physics.
There is no evidence. You see, I watch tons of programs made by scientists, and they keep saying it is a theory. It's not really. There's no evidence. And you notice, like when we speak about the word evidence, I find it funny.
Yeah.
Because when we speak about evidence. Okay, now we knew how supposedly the Big Bang happened. What about you make a Big Bang? And they did. They created a big machine, and they spent hundreds of millions of dollars. They want to make a Big Bang. It came with a failure,
Yeah.
So the idea is it's just a theory, unless you can make it happen, right? So like there's things nobody can explain. And I know you're an atheist. I'm not trying to make you become a Christian. Stay as you are if you wish. But let me tell you, when you as an atheist believe that everything we have, you believe in something is called evolution, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
We have the smallest. Let us say one day we used to be a cell.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And then the cell. How the cell in the world will know that now I'm going to split myself, and I'm going to tell my other cell, you make a vagina, and it's going to take you 10,000 million year, and I will make a penis. It's going to take me 10 million year, and then after that we meet. If the purpose of evolution is the needs, and already they are, they are like, let us say, they have offspring without sex. You know what I mean? I mean, the cell is splitting itself, correct? So if there's no need, so okay, in one hand they say to you, the need made that happen. The need, okay, but they do not need it. They do not need to have a penis. Already they are producing.
Yeah,
they already are increasing. So how two cells, they will talk to each other and say, hey, you start developing yourself now, and I start developing myself now. After 10 million years from now, you became a vagina, I become a penis.
So the development of male and female is actually a fascinating topic. And I don't have a background in science, but I did read one book which I found very, very interesting, which is called The Selfish Gene. And something I learned that was very interesting is, like, what we think of as like male and female, it's much more like, so basically at some point in an evolutionary history, we specialize, where women will have a big egg, so basically the cost of having a baby is much more, and then there's a male that has a small egg, which is basically the sperm, which is like very easy and very cheap to make. They both specialized because it made more sense for one of them to be like the caretaker and the other one to be the one providing the sperm. When you look at, for example, salmon, like the fishes, they actually take turns being male and female. So, for example, one day the fish will be the male, and the next day it'll be the female. And if one of them cheats and is, for example, female is male twice, because male is the one that makes a baby and then doesn't need to take care of the baby, then what'll happen is they will break up and it'll go to another fish. So there is actually a lot of there is an explanation that we have for why male and female develop, but it is quite complicated. You're right. It's not a simple. It's not a simple question.
I don't agree with you. There's no explanation, because, as we said, the reason for a male and female exists is to proceed to produce. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. As long as they are producing already for millions of years, according to what atheists they say, then there's no need for male and female. Already they are producing. They are producing. They are producing their kind. They are producing already their kind. So what? And how the cells can draw a design that this penis will look like this, and the vagina will look like that, and then it's going to take us 10,000 years or whatever, or millions. You know? And then we will have a penis and a vagina. It's impossible, because to say that as if you are saying there is somebody outsider, he is the one is planning, not insider. A cell is a stupid cell. It cannot come with the plan by itself.
Exactly.
And to make such a plan, this is a genius plan.
So what the thing is, I would also give a counter example, because when you said that, for example, God's fingerprint is on the creation, I would like, this is a little bit different point than what you're saying about male and female, but just let's humor me for a second. What I wanted to share with you is that not this one, hold on. So why do we find that there's things in nature which are like very disturbing? For example, the way that bed bugs basically mate, it's very disturbing. It's like the male, inserts his sperm by method of traumatic insertion, where he stabs the female in the stomach, and the sperm travels through her blood into the sperm receptacles and eventually into the ovaries. Like, this is a very like horrible way to like make pregnant. And like, there's so many examples like this in nature, where, like, for example, with seals, the males forcibly force themselves onto baby cubs and sometimes even crush them to death. Male lions will kill all of the previous offspring And like lions are not like, if this was all created by God, like why is it that we find even just eating meat, even the fact that lions need to eat, like tear apart and to kill another living animal just to survive. It's not like they have a choice. Not like, yeah, I'm just going to have like some grass like the elephants over there. So the things in nature, when we look at nature, what we find is it just seems very chaotic, very unordered, and it's very much survival of the fittest, right? Like, wouldn't you agree?
Well, if the Bible says to us that God created man, and he gave him power over all other things.
Okay.
And the rest simply is a cycle of life to keep the life sustained, which means even the bugs, which you find them disgusting,
yes,
they exist for a reason. They are not there for decoration or just for no reason. So it's a chain of food, and the chain of food that even the bug which you find disgusting, it's a food for somebody. Or something.
Yeah, but if you're a God, would you program so much suffering into the world like that?
Well, this is
like, why would you make a lion have to kill and rip apart another animal just to survive? I mean, what we find is this makes sense in evolution because there's a great struggle. So what happens is lions evolve better ways to hunt, and the deer evolve better ways to run away. Like they get faster and faster in running away, and the lions get smarter and smarter and trying. And it's a constant battle between the two. But
still, the lions survive and the deer survive. This is what the plan of God, that we will keep the earth sustained for the man. It's not made for the animal. The animal is not the purpose. The animal exists for other purpose. So you are focusing in the animal, but you forgot that we as what believe that all the animals exist for us, so we can survive, and this earth to stay as it is. So even the bugs, like, if we don't have bees, we will not have fruits, and the list goes. So the lions and those beasts, they were doing what is called natural
selection,
filtering,
Oh, okay.
Like the weak one will die and the strong one will survive, and then what will keep more health exists in the ground. But what about a human? They kill each other too.
Yeah.
So if you want to blame God, I can say that God, animals are programmed. Man is not. Animals are programmed, which means they are creatures who they have no choice to be something else. You cannot make a duck a dog.
Yeah.
Even if you bring two, if you make a dog have sex with a donkey, you cannot make the donkey have a baby from a dog, right?
No.
You have to be from the same family.
They have to be related closely enough.
They have from the same family, like a horse and a dog, and then they would have a mule, and then the mule cannot even have babies. So
yes.
So
and evolution explains that. Science.
You see, this is not evolution explaining. Actually, this is just a practical explanation. It's not really evolution. This is not evolution. I mean, a donkey and a horse, and obviously because they are not.
It's because the genes have diverged enough.
Doesn't matter
that the combination. It's the same thing we find with humans. That, for example, if I have sex with my cousin and I have a baby, and then a cousin marriage over and over again, like you find in Pakistan, you get genetic deformities because what happens is there's no genetic diversity in the pool. You're just reusing the same thing over and over again. And the same thing with sickle cell anemia. If you have what happens is human beings will live in an area with malaria. They tend to evolve a natural immunity to malaria. But what happens is if both the mom and dad have that gene for the immunity to malaria, the combination is fatal to the child and he gets sickle cell anemia. So that's another example of how nature is so strange that the mom and dad are immune from a disease, but then the child becomes sick. Because of the connection of the genes is bad. This is the
failure of your theory.
How's that a failure?
Because you just said it was not successful.
What do you mean?
Because the child, he died.
It's what happens is sometimes it has catastrophic effects, which is what genetic diseases are. Genetic diseases are an example of
I understand, my friend. God, he gave us ability to survive. So you call it evolution. Okay, I call it ability to survive. So if I live in a mountain area, my lung will be bigger because there's less oxygen. That is not really, I mean, it's very simple. God, he gave you ability to survive. And how you survive? Because he gave you ability. What does that mean? You can adopt. You can adopt atmosphere around you.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that if you go in a mountain, your lungs will get bigger. I'm saying that if you go in a mountain and you live there for many generations, your children that are not able to survive in that environment are likely to die. And the ones that you have that have that enhanced ability, even if it's a tiny advantage, they are more likely to survive. And without any involvement of any god, that gene will be passed on. That strong gene in that environment. So in an example of malaria, it's the specific gene that gives you immunity to malaria that will be passed on, because the other kids will die that don't have it, right? So the random mutation and the natural selection is how evolution happens.
Well, what I think is the right way to think about it this way, that me, a person who is not born in the mountain, if I go in the mountain, still my body will adopt. And simply, even proven by science, if you go in the mountains, you breathe longer so you can get more oxygen. It's very simple. You do not need to have bigger, they will not be bigger because you went there for 5 hours, but they will get bigger as how much oxygen you inhale, So God, he gave you ability to survive, and this have nothing to do with what it's called evolution. You are saying the children, the one who survived, then he will have kids, and his kids will carry. But still, his DNA is still DNA of his parents anyway. Nothing changed really.
No. There's 2 ways that DNA changes. One is it mixes randomly with the mom and dad, but 2 is there's also random mutations. So whenever you have like children, like I have 5 kids, so my 5 kids, they all have a different mix of DNA from myself and my wife, but also there's a random mutation which happens sometimes. So they've tested this with like fruit flies and like with bacteria.
I know, but my friend, still, you're not coming with a human. You're not coming with something new. It's the same. It's a complex of DNA, and it is already for what exists.
Yes.
Okay. Not something new. It's not like a new DNA. So it just exists. But let us say it's a new cocktail.
Well, dogs and wolves are actually like dogs are evolved wolves.
Well, dog is a wolf anyway.
Yeah, you can say that. Dogs come from the wolf family.
No, I cannot say that. He is a wolf, actually. It's just
friendly wolves.
Yes,
friendly wolves.
All dogs are wolf, but we give them names. But you see, at the end of the day, you decide to believe in what you are saying because you decide to believe in it, and you decide to take one side of the story, which is, okay, science, they told me that this is how you evaluate things. And I found that science evaluate nothing. And I will give you an example. Until now, science cannot even make you live. Science cannot make you come back to life. Science cannot even help you. They give you a medicine, they tell you there's 1,000 effect will kill you. And that
side effects.
So but this is science, supposedly, right? This is science. Okay.
But like, wouldn't you go to the doctor if you get sick? Like, you believe in science, obviously, right? You trust it as well.
I just got sick last week, and I did not go because I don't trust them.
You don't go to doctors at all?
I don't go to doctors. I don't trust them. I don't believe in them. I don't believe in medicine because simply go and watch any commercial. I wish I can play it for you, but they will flag me for copyright.
Okay.
They say to you, this medicine, this medicine is amazing. My dad took from it, and then they start reading for you fast. This medicine can cause heart attack, blood,
But like antibiotics, like that's an example of medicine that's helped humanity, like tuberculosis.
This is not science. Do you remember what I said to you in the beginning?
That's not science.
This is not science. This is
antibiotics is not science.
No, it's
what is it then?
It exists already. You have it already. But all what they now they brought it in a big amount. They put it inside your body. It already exists.
How is that not science? That's the definition of science.
No, it's not science. It's not science. It already exists. Antibiotic. You did not create science. Did you create the antibiotic? No.
No, but what science has done is isolated the.
Thank you very much.
Antibiotics come from fungus.
Okay, all what we need, like we have olive oil, and it was in an olive. And then we squeeze it, and then we have a drop of olive, and then we squeeze another one, and then we have 2, and then we squeeze another one, and now we have 3, and now we have a bottle. That's all. So now science is something you practice. We are like a rats for the doctors. They give you something. It succeed. We say to you, the other rat, try this. It's work with this guy. So this is what they call science. But the fact that science always face failure because not all their practice work. So it is. What we call medicine today is nothing but a practice of hundreds of years of a previous human being, and then we apply it on others because it worked with this guy, so it should work with this guy, but it's not necessarily, and this guy might die, and that's why we say to him, before you go to the clinic, sign this form because you might die here. This is what they say to you. Actually, they give you a form when you go to the clinic. Put your name, what disease you have, what the problem you have, and sign, and the sign there says that that we are not responsible, blah 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 blah, because simply the doctor, he might kill you by a medicine he give you. And there's tons of people who die by stupid doctors. They give medicine which is dangerous. So what you call science, I call it a practice of let us say a laboratory. You know, we are in the lab like a rat for a guy who call himself a doctor, and he applies something on you. It doesn't work. He said to you, let us change the medicine. Let us try this one. Come tomorrow and tell me what happened. He don't even guarantee what will happen, because simply science is not sure. The science in this case is not sure. As long as science is not sure, it means there's no science.
I disagree with that.
Okay, well, because when you say to me science, it means 1 + 1, we have 2.
Yeah.
You don't say to me what's +1, but maybe 2. The second you say maybe, so as long we are talking about science, so how come we have science but the result is not guaranteed? So it's not science.
Well, it's because the body is a complex set of.
No, it's not because it's a complex. It's because something you cannot comprehend. It is, and your science is still until now cannot understand the action and reaction and what is really inside. So you try things and you hope it's going to work, and then if it doesn't work,
it's getting there. It's getting
no, we are getting nowhere. We are getting nowhere. People are dying, and here we go. You see, diseases they develop themselves and they became more aggressive, and your science face more failure. And I believe time will come and people will die by millions from a stupid flu again, the same as used to die before. So science is useless. It's not really. Science is helping us. I can say mechanic, like you're a software engineer. We can say this kind of science. It's you know, but when it's come to you know, a human being and creation and creature, I find it kind of useless. You know. Like now, the maximum they can do a surgery for your heart to help you to get more blood running into your. So there is some kind of it work, but what we call really science about how things are created, we find that the science is facing. It's like in a dark tunnel. They saw nothing yet. What we know until now is not even maybe 1% of what is called really science.
But if you look at Japan, like people are living longer than ever before. I mean, these guys are living in the hundreds. And like, if you look at even like, for example, statistics on cancer, like what we find is that cancer continues to drop. Like we are able to actually, we have now antiviral drugs that can keep a person that has HIV alive for the rest of their life. It's gone from a death sentence, HIV, to something that's just you can live with. You just have to take drugs, right, to keep you alive. And the antiviral drugs are not, like we haven't cured HIV, but we're close. We're this close to curing HIV. We haven't cured it yet, but we can keep a person alive with HIV. Cancers that used to kill people, like if you used to find that you had like prostate cancer, breast cancer, it was a death sentence. But now there's many cancers that, you know, whether it's like pediatric cancer or whether it's like leukemia or whatever it is, you can actually survive now. It's gone from like a 60% death to like 20%.
As I said, this is confirmed what I said to you. They are practicing on us as a rats. And then after,
but that's good though. Like that's good because I want. You see, I want to know. If I'm going to die from cancer, I want at least my next generation to benefit from the fact that they tried something on me and maybe it didn't work. But at least they'll know for the next generation they have something better to try.
This is, you see, this is something practice. And it's the same as an Indian village doctor. He learned from something from his grandfather. But how they learn it? Because simply they practice it and it worked. It worked.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So they keep practicing things, trying things. After millions of people they die, a stupid cancer. Cancer is something stupid. Time will come and people will see how silly it is. The same as Europe die half of it because of a flu. Half of Europe die because of a flu. But the flu is so stupid. So it is not the problem is knowing, right? But the solution is always there. We are not making solution. It is there, but we do not know the solution. So this is why I say I don't believe in science. I believe in finding out how to deal with things around us. You call it science, you can call it whatever you want, but this is not really science. It's just finding out after practicing. You know, if you can't get me,
so what is science then? What does science do? What's the definition of science?
For me is
to me, that is science. You try something, it fails. You throw it away. You try something else, it works.
Yes, this what I call science. But people, when they say science, they take it as for granted. For me, I believe in something is called trying. That is what called as science. For them, they don't believe in that. They believe when you say science, it means let's take it as a fact. That's it. A scientist, he said.
Yeah, that's wrong.
You know, a scientist, he said. But doesn't mean what he said is true, because later he himself, he cannot, if he gets sick, he cannot heal himself. You know, okay, you are saying a doctor there die. Okay, the doctor himself, he died by cancer, but he's fighting cancer. Okay, so until now, the science could not find solutions for very simple thing. Cancer is a simple issue. Shouldn't
cancer is not a simple issue.
It's simple.
Cancer
it's simple because
issue.
Simply it's a you see.
Cancer is your body going crazy and the cells are multiplying without dying.
Thank you very much. That's because what? Because simply we don't understand how to control this issue, how to fix it, right?
Yeah.
So your science facing a failure. So what do? You try to you try to fight the cells. You're not changing the body. You're not fixing the body. You are just fighting the cells who they are going crazy. Right? It's like you have an impact in a place and you are trying to fix the damage in that place, but you cannot really, you cannot change the body. The body is there. You cannot fix anything. So the defect is in that cell. So what we do, we kill them. We are not even replacing them. We are just killing them. You know. So this is not really science. I mean, this is just a practice of a practice we practice over rats, and then we say, okay, this rat survived, so let us apply it in the human. And that's what they do, actually.
That's not really science. That is science.
No, this is not. This is something we apply in everything in life. I mean, I make salad. I add some salt. Okay, it's salty. Next time I'm not going to add salt. You know. Yeah. So this, I can call this science of cooking. You know, like
the science of cooking is to make salty, add salt.
You see, like, but I mean, science. The way I understand it is different from the way people they understand it. People they take science for granted. I take nothing for granted except my belief. My belief is better for me from the science. Because, you know, in the year 2010, I have allergy. I don't know what happened. I lost my voice. I went to the doctors. Wow. This is in America. Very, you know, I like, because I lost my voice, I have to go to, I never go to hospital. I hate it. So, because now I can't talk. You know, I have to go online. People are waiting for me. My voice is gone. So,
did you try like allergy medication over the counter?
But look what happened. I went the first doctor, the second doctor, the third doctor. No, nobody asked me what did you eat in the morning. Nobody asked me. And later I found out it's just a stupid coffee. I have allergy from the coffee. I drink coffee and my voice is gone.
Wow.
Machines, laboratory. They took samples of my blood. They took samples of my throat. You know, I mean, they did everything, and at the end,
but they didn't ask you what you eat.
It's a stupid coffee. I went home. No. Nobody asked me about the coffee. I went home.
That's terrible.
I noticed. I drink coffee. My voice go wrong. I don't drink coffee. My voice is fine. So I said to myself, let me stop drinking coffee for 5 days or 6 days. And bingo. Since then, I don't have a problem. That's it.
That's amazing.
So here we go, science. You know. I mean, not even one doctor asked me, what did you drink? Okay, yesterday your voice was fine. Okay, what happened between yesterday and today? Nobody asked me this question to make me like think about it, you know? Because it doesn't make sense. You go to sleep, you wake up in the morning, you know. So it was allergy from because I drink too much coffee. So here we go. We have scientists and we have laboratories and big hospitals, and they charge a lot of money and they have degrees, and none of those idiots was able to ask me a question. What did you drink or eat before this happened?
Yeah, that's unfortunate. They should definitely do that.
But you see, what it's called science, it is just a practice. They practice on me medicine. They give me all kind of medicine. I start getting dizzy. The medicine they gave me make me sick.
Oh, wow.
Did not solve the problem and make me sick. You know?
Some doctors would ask you, like some doctors would do allergy test, or they would do like you know, allergy test is a good thing to test,
friend,
right?
even allergy test, test is just let us try. Maybe it is. You know, he's guessing. Okay, it might work. A different person, maybe different story. Maybe you have a cancer. Maybe you have a problem. You know, so they don't know. They try things on you, and those things they work. Someone like you call it science.
Yeah,
for me,
I call it science.
I don't call it science. I call it like, you know, this is rat science. This, you know, he tried things on me. It's like a magician from India. He told me, go take this powder and put it in the water and say shoo 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 shoo, and it worked. Come back to me and we will give you more. It did not work. Okay, give me something else. This is exactly what they are trying
But there is a difference, because with the drugs, they go through a strict process of trial and error. They do use animals to test, right? Which is, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad.
After all the tests, still we are dying, and those drugs
but
are
less than before. I mean, people
let me
used
ask
to.
You, have you ever heard of a drugs don't have side effect?
Of course, the side effect, but the question is the side effect less than the actual symptoms? No, that's why you take the drug, right?
Sometimes the side effect is more dangerous than the disease itself. I mean, Abdullah, listen. I want you to go after we finish. Honest to God, go to YouTube, search for any drug, anything, like for heart, and then you will see the list of side effect will scare the hell of you. You know?
Yeah, even Tylenol has a big
this drug can cause a heart attack, can brain bleeding, brain damage, lose eyesight, getting dizzy, internal bleeding, stomach. I mean, you give me something because I have a flu. You want me to have a bleeding in the brain? You want to stop my flu by bleeding in the brain? So what is the science? It is just something they practice on you. And most of the science we have today is commercial science, and this, you have to take that into consideration too. They create medicine not because you need it. Even many doctors, they sell you medicine because company, they ask them to sell it, and they will give them percentage. So the science today is not really a science to depend in. Otherwise, nobody will die and nobody will suffer. And as science, you know, we go to maintenance shop, we became brand new, and they take us out. And science, thank you very much, we are like a robot machine. But this is not what's happening. People die every day.
I think you are right about a lot of the things you're saying about medicine specifically, and about doctors, and how a lot of times they don't look at the big picture. They don't think about simple questions like what you ate. And someone's asking in the chat, I just want to say, I'm not saying there's no God because of this. Like someone was saying, are you saying because of doctors or something that there's no God? And like what I do think it's possible there is a God. So we didn't talk about that, but I do believe it is possible that there is a God, but I'm not convinced that any of the religious books are from God. So that's where I stand right now. So I'm an agnostic atheist. I think that if there's a power or force or something, it's possible, but I'm not convinced, and that's why I don't believe in God.
You know, for me, I believe in God for a very simple reason.
Okay.
Because you don't believe, I believe.
What do you mean?
I will tell you why.
Okay.
The first thing we learn in the Bible, that God, he gave Adam a free will. And by giving him a free will, it's mean he gave you free will to reject him. And yet our God, if you want, he can force everybody to believe in him. It's not a choice if you want. If he is really true, exists, right?
Yes.
But because our God is loving and merciful, and the first thing he make me take what God he says over what people they think is science. First of all, I don't see what God says is against science. I see that we don't understand what God's saying sometime, and we think it's contradict science. As an example, you know, when somebody says that, as I said to you from the beginning, Jesus is born of a virgin. That is not scientific, correct?
Correct.
But is it possible? No.
It's possible.
Okay. Well, if God is God, and the idea of God is what is he can do what is not impossible, and what is not what is impossible, he makes it possible, right?
That's what a miracle is, right?
Yeah, that's what a miracle is. But life around us is full of miracles. You know, you yourself, you said like a fish changed her gender. This is a miracle. This is not a joke. You know, this is really a miracle. How in the morning she is a female and afternoon she's a male. You know, so if this is not, if this is evolution, I don't think this is evolution. I think this is God, amazing power. But how do you say God is merciful if he created hell? Like according to your belief, there's a hell. Okay, actually, it's a proof of mercy, and I'll explain it to you.
A proof of mercy, yes. Hell.
You know, I come to your house, Abdullah, and I say to you, your house will be set on fire. Please come with me. And then you say, you know what? I don't believe that fire is coming, and leave me alone. I come to you again.
But who set the fire though?
No problem.
God put the fire.
The fire, okay. Everything have an expired date. You as an atheist now, all right?
Yeah.
You believe that one day you will become dust. That's it. You're gone. So is that fair? You are talking to who then? As an atheist, talking to who? Is that fair that you will go? You like to stay, right? You like to stay alive forever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you notice that there's things is out of your hand. Even you as an atheist, you have no control of it, and you cannot question why. I mean, why I have an age? Why I'm aging? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. As long I am a person who is believing in evolution, what about my body evolve himself to be living forever? I mean,
but the difference is, I don't believe that there's someone that has power that controls the entire existence from beginning to end and could actually change it. Like, I believe I'm a product of the situation that exists, which is a material universe that has no God behind it, right?
Okay.
So that's the difference, where you believe in God, and your God actually created the fire and put the house on fire and said, either you come out the house or you're going to burn in fire.
Okay. Well,
how's that merciful?
Well, this is I understand that you are saying here, like, how in the world this is merciful, and you are giving me one of two options: either you come with me, or you don't come with me. Well, why it should be three? Because if he is the one who created you, and then you say to him no. I mean, look at this. You see, you are asking someone who not only he in control of your life, he is the one who created you. And you are saying to him, who are you to send me to hell? And who are you to force me to go to heaven or to hell? I want a third option. Then he says to you, create one for you. Here we go. Let your science create the third option.
To live forever?
Yeah, make the third.
It might happen. It might happen. People are doing research on that.
When this happened, let me know.
There's even people who pay money to be frozen, so that one day, if science ever figures out how to de-thaw them, it's called cryogenics, they will unfreeze themselves. Now, I don't know if that'll ever happen, and maybe it won't, maybe it will, but like, scientists are trying to cure death as we speak. Because do you know jellyfish can live forever? Look up immortal jellyfish. Just Google immortal jellyfish. There's animals that can live forever. Now, how can they do that? We need to learn that, right? Do we want to live forever? That's a different ethical question, I think, altogether.
There's nothing live forever. That's not true. There's nothing.
But anyways, but that aside, I can't square a merciful God with hell, because God doesn't need a hell. He could just say that, you don't want to believe, you don't believe, you want to believe, you believe. It's your choice. But the punishment is just, you just stop existing, for example. Or does it need to be a punishment for belief or not belief? Like, why is that so important to God that he wants to torture us in hell forever and ever? Like, you're talking about 4/5 of humanity. So 80% of the world's population is going to burn in hell, according to you and according to Muslims.
Okay, well, God, he gave life.
Yeah.
He gave you life. This was the idea. God, he gave you life. He have the right to take it off. He gave it to you. This is what we believe in. So you don't own your life, and you are talking about your life as if you own it. So
we can't question it then. That's what you're saying. You can't question the fact that because God made us.
Okay, well, let me ask you. Can you delete yourself? You cannot. Okay, so can you question still now, you as an atheist, you cannot question why you came to life, right? So here we go. You cannot do anything about it. You are here.
Yeah.
Can you reverse? You cannot. So you as an atheist with your science cannot still find a solution for what we're talking about. So the idea is very simple. The one who created, he have the control of his creation. And he gave you an opportunity to believe or not to believe. Then you want to blame him for not believing. You want to blame him with what you are doing right now. I blame you for torturing me because I don't believe. Well, he told you this is what will happen. He told you there's fire. You said, I don't care. You said to him, you will go to fire, you will be burned there. I don't care. I want to be an atheist. Then you insist. So you accepted the punishment before the punishment.
But doesn't that mean that, like, for example, gullible people that are willing to believe in things without evidence are more likely to be saved, and people that are more skeptical are less likely to be saved? Like, doesn't that seem unfair to you? I can't choose whether I believe or not. I just don't believe. I just don't think this is true.
No.
So do I deserve to be burned alive because I don't think that God exists?
No, Abdullah, I think you said I cannot choose. That's not true. Yeah. You're debating me for the last maybe an hour and a half about science, and you said to me I cannot choose. No, you did choose. You did choose. It's your choice. So
no, you can't choose what to believe. Can you believe that Allah is real? Let me tell you that. Can you believe right now that Allah is real? If I told you that,
if I say about Allah, I will find. If He is God, I mean that would be the most silly, stupid God ever. So
yeah, exactly. You can't change your position because either you're convinced or you're not convinced.
Okay.
There's no choice in the issue, right?
No problem. Let us say for sake of argument, Allah is real. I have to pay the price for my belief at the end of the day. Okay, if he is real, then oops, it's my fault. I refuse
Oops, I'm going to hell.
Yeah, obviously, because I choose to refuse him. I mean, he is right.
Yeah.
If he is real, as I said to you, it's the same as a firefighter. He come to your house and he's wearing uniform, and he says to you, "I am a firefighter. There's a gas explosion will happen in your house. Please come out." You said to him, "I smell nothing. I see nothing." This is what I said they do. I smell nothing. I see nothing. And then the fire come, and then you say, "Oh, he is the one who set the fire," but he told you the fire coming. Regardless who is going to set the fire, he told you, "Get out." You don't want to get out. So
the firefighter is Jesus here, and God is the one who set the fire.
The fires exist already. It's not
the fire doesn't exist. Somebody made it.
No. The fire. No, he created the fire. Is already exist.
Exactly.
He created the fire, exist, and he created you too. So he created
me and the fire. And
he created all the element, and the element they function together.
Okay.
Everyone he goes where he belongs. Like always I say to people who listen to me, a fly go to the garbage, a bees go to the flowers. So I have to decide where I want to go. Either I want to be a fly or I want to be a bees. This is the we believe in religion, or let us say salvation. So if I know if somebody told me I decide not to believe, then don't blame him later and says, okay, I'm going to question God. How you do that? Because first of all, you cannot. Secondly, you cannot change it, and science will never fix any problem. And I believe the reason of humanity to be end is science. It's not God.
Say that again, Sai.
The reason for humanity to end is going to be science, because I believe that the more people they get into believing in science, the more that judgment they will come. However, for you as an atheist, I can explain it to you in a different way, because you don't believe in God. Science will destroy mankind.
What?
Science is going to be the one who will destroy mankind. For me, from a belief that judgment day is that. For you as an atheist, let us say it's a nuclear war. Science will destroy everything, because a human being either possessed by believing in science, and he forget about how he is made, and then judgment day will come. Or if you're an atheist, then you have to believe that science became so powerful in using mechanism of what we have, as we said, by practice, and then became using their evil to destroy this earth.
That's possible. That's very possible that human beings will destroy the earth. Yeah, it's possible.
So people who believe in loving your enemy as people of Jesus, they can use science for better use. A person who have no belief, or he believe in Allah, he can use science in an evil way, because he's out of control. The Muslim, he believe I have to fight, do jihad. An atheist, he don't believe in anything except purpose of life, which is to be successful, me, my nation, my people, and the rest forget about them. The same as the communists they do.
There's a lot of differences in like I'm a secular humanist. Like, that's my religion. My religion is humanity. So I would never support nuclear war or anything like that. And I do think that, I hope that it never happens, but I do think the fact that it would be like mutually assured destruction, that is what's stopping different nations from getting into nuclear war, because they know if they fire the missile, they'll be fired back and everyone will be dead, right? So I do hope and pray. Well, not pray, I don't believe in God, I don't mean literally
here we go.
But I do hope and pray that
we made him say happens. Pray. Did you hear it? Here we go.
I pray to the spaghetti monster, my imaginary God.
Right. Okay, well, no, you see, even if there's no war happened, a human being is working for his death. Not his science is not going to help him, because you remember when what happened in the nuclear facility for electricity in Japan. Japan was terrified. How much
Hiroshima.
No, not Hiroshima. This has happened 2 years ago. There's the tsunami.
Oh, you're talking about the nuclear, the leak, the meltdown that we're worried about.
It's just a leak. It's just a stupid leak. So imagine
yes.
The rain arrived to Canada and USA.
Yes.
The radiation. So imagine if just a stupid leak scared the hell of the whole world. Happened in Japan, not in here. How far Japan is. So imagine if explosion happened in that place, not a leak. Okay? Yeah. So the science, the way I see it, is something disgusting more than it is something human, because a human became like a bug. You remember you told me about the bed bug, how disgusting it is. A human became like the bed bug. He want to suck everything. He want to suck the energy. He want to suck the power.
But if it wasn't for science, we wouldn't have 6 billion people alive today. We wouldn't have like the farming.
Well, it's better better that people they not live and die normally, as they are always, better than having 6 billions and then we kill them over one night.
Yeah, assuming that might never happen.
And they will die in a very evil. It's going to happen. You will see. Just wait. Just wait. You know, actually, most of cancer.
So negative.
You see, cancers happen today because of we are staying away from God. We became too much into material.
No, come on.
Okay. You heard of Chernobyl, right?
Yes.
Okay. Chernobyl killed more than 1 million Russian, and the Soviet Union they hide it.
Yeah.
They said only 10,000.
The nuclear disaster you're talking about, the radiation spills, right?
Do you think Chernobyl stayed in Chernobyl? It's
No.
all over the earth.
Yeah.
Okay. The rain, the cloud, the water is all over. So they say to you, if you make a study about how the cancer is increasing, you will find that there's a huge increase in cancer suddenly. It's not decreasing as you said. It's increasing. Why? Because a human, he is abusing what it's called science. So the science is not really helping us. Even we are fighting. I mean, even medicine is involved radiation today. You know, and everything we are. You know, your cell phone is involved in radiation. So the more you are obsessed with science and in need in science, you become a slave of it. And one day, this science will kill you.
I mean, it's a very gloomy perspective. I'm actually much more optimistic than that. I do think that it's quite possible that science will, in a sense, allow us to do things that we never imagined. For example, like 3D printers now are being used to to rebuild organs for people. Like they're doing stem cell research that's able to cure burn victims like never before. Like you can spray it on you and your skin will grow back. We're talking about like science being able to they're doing research on tiny machines that can go inside your body and clean out the fat and things that like people would have actually.
I'm not saying all science is negative.
Suffered.
I'm not saying all what you call is negative.
Yeah,
this is kind of engineering more than a science. Engineering of a technique.
I see them the same way. I think they go together.
Yeah, but it's an engineering. It's about understanding something and how we can fix this issue.
Yeah.
But it's still the major science is not helping us. It is negative. You can look around you. I mean, what science is doing to our life, even socially, is destroying our life. Even mentally, is destroying our life. Human being is losing his mind because it's called drugs, and drugs simply they are using science to generate false drugs to make you go high, and millions of people are dying because of that. So science have two sides. There's a positive, there's negative.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely
the positive, I find it let us say is helping the rich ones.
That's true as well.
That
is very true, and that's a problem with capitalism in general, right? Like the rich get like Viagra and Lipitor, and the poor people, they're like still dying from malaria because nobody wants to spend money on drugs to help the third world, right?
In communist countries, still everybody die, not only but
I agree with that too.
You see, at the end of the day, the science is very selective and elective as you wish. The same as religion. When you want, this is what people want. As you said, you want God. Why God? He want to send me to hell, so I want to be elective here. Okay. I can believe in him, but if you don't believe, I mean, why you make hell? I mean, that's not right. Okay, so here you are being elective or selective in what God can be for you. You are trying to design your own God. You decide to switch from this God to a different God. It's called maybe science.
Yeah.
Somebody he believe in mathematics. Somebody he believed there's God, but he called it supernatural. So everyone he tried to find a solution for a belief, and he resembled God in his own way. And some they believe in himself, which means he became God himself. He is the center of the world. For me, I find that the most healthy belief, regardless if you believe in it is true or not, as an atheist, the most healthy belief for mankind is a Christianity. Love your enemy, bless those who curse you, help everybody, I mean, love your enemy. You cannot find any philosopher in the world he will say such a thing.
So do you love Muhammad?
It's extreme. Muhammad for me is a you know, you see, I cannot say I love him because no, let me explain to you why. You see, love your enemy does not mean I am in love with a person, he is my enemy. It's mean I am a person who is obligated to help that person to be saved.
So you love Muslims then? Would you say?
Sure, I love Muslims. Why I want to hate them? I spend hours and days of my life just to save them, you know, not because I hate them, absolutely not. So I love them to save them, not to give them hugs. You see, loving somebody is not about, imagine you have a poor guy, he's dying from hunger, and say I love you. I give him a sandwich, you know.
Yeah.
You don't want your love now. I mean, if you love him, really help him. So if you love a person, you help him. So for us as a Christians, you can be whoever you are. You can stay as an atheist. And I find that the most healthy society is a true believing in Jesus the Christ, where everybody can guarantee to himself peace and love, assistance, and even equality. You see, you just talk about rich and poor. If everybody practiced what Jesus did, nobody will be poor. If somebody asks you a step, walk with him 1,000. If somebody asks you for your coat, give him your dress. Imagine. So here you see, if we think about each other, we can do what science cannot do. You know, medicine companies are not exist to do charities, as exist to make money, a profit of you from your blood.
Yeah.
You know, and they make their medicine is extremely expensive to the point you die before you have it, and actually you work hard to pay for it, and then you die faster. So, or a doctor, you know, you go there, he charges you, you come back home, you have a high blood pressure, and you find the bill is $3,000. Then you die. You know, if not because of the bill or his wrong medicine, because of you know the money you will pay. So, Christianity solve a lot of problems for a human being. And I'm talking to you as an atheist, not for me as a believer. As an atheist, for you, I say that it's a million times better for you as an atheist. If the whole world became a Christian, from the whole world became an atheist or Muslims.
Well, didn't Christians for the longest time burn witches and you know, block, like for example Galileo and Bruno were blocked by the church?
The story of Galileo is not true, it's false. The story of Galileo, like he said, the earth is
what about the Inquisition, the Spanish Inquisition against the witches?
I agree with it. I agree with it. If I'm a king, I will do it too, because simply, you see, somebody betray me. An occupation came to my country and they killed millions of my people, and they occupy us for hundreds of years. And then now we are big victorious. Should we go after the one who betray and join the army of the enemy? I mean, is it normal? Why people they think this is a church thing? This is not church thing.
But like, it was a very brutal thing they did, right? Like they tortured people and they burned them alive.
I don't agree with being brutal. I agree with.
But they killed the Jews as well.
The Jews, they took the side. The Jews, they took the side at that time with the Muslims too. I mean, we have, you see, history, my friend. When the Jews they took the side of the Persian when they attacked Jerusalem in 614. Okay, then the Christians they took Jerusalem back. What happened to the Jews? The Jews they flee because if they stay, they will be punished. And it's very normal. I mean, imagine I come with your enemy to your house. I take your wife, your children as slaves. I rape them in front of your eyes. And then when you became victorious, I expect from you to be merciful. This is the nature of a human being, you know. This is very, very normal. I mean, if you speak about justice, even the Old Testament says that the one who kills should be killed. So you kill me, they have the right to defend themselves, and they kill you the same as you kill them.
But didn't they burn witches alive because they said if they did magic?
Even today.
Sorry?
Even today, a person who betray his country can be executed in many countries around the world.
Well, what about the witch hunting? Like that was caused by Christianity as well.
What is that?
The witch hunting.
Well, you know, first of all, you see, this is in the Old Testament. It says if somebody practice witchcraft, you kill them. All right? Because those people, they are taking advantage of the naive ones and taking and sucking their money. So you can say this is absolutely wrong according to your understanding today.
Yeah.
But if you live in that time, you will find how much harmful they used to be society, because people, they are very naive, and those people, they are taking control of them, sucking their money, controlling their life, destroying their life. So those are very aggressive criminals, and if you don't live in that time, you won't understand what's happening. So, you know, this is a problem always. we try to look at things in the way we see it today. Okay? Because today nobody can really, I mean, who believe in witchcraft? Only the fool. Correct? But at that time, people believe in it. And somebody he do witchcraft, he control you, he destroy your life. So they are very harmful for society. Is more dangerous than cancer today.
But how do they control you? They can't do anything. It's not real.
No. They control you by making you believe. You believe in them. That's it. You're controlled.
But that's not. Is that their fault? Like they're telling you, "Oh, I cast a spell on you."
It's not about your fault. But what we can do? People, they believe in witchcraft. So how we can fight witchcraft?
You educate people. You don't kill the witches.
No. First, people will not believe you anyway. There is no school.
Well, that's the right thing to do is teach people.
My friend, people until now they believe in witchcraft.
Okay.
Until now,
which is like you said, it's foolish, right?
The science. Okay. After all the science you spoke about, still people believe in witchcraft. So you speak about people who lived thousands of years ago. And you are saying, let us educate them. Those people, they get scared from the thunder.
Yeah.
You know, I think the thunder is, this is what the Quran is saying. So you know, you are judging with the mentality of 2019, a human being who lived thousands of years ago, who have a very limited knowledge and very limited access to education. As you are talking about, we educate them as if you have schools in every corner, and you look, let us teach them. You know, like, okay, sit down, let us teach you witchcraft is not true. Okay, first of all, they might kill you even for saying it's not true.
Yeah,
you might get killed for saying that it's not true. You know what I mean? You are talking about people at the time. They are even the people, they are savage. So even to talk to them about something, you might be killed for that.
Yeah.
Like the first bicycle came to Saudi Arabia, the bicycle was arrested.
The bicycle?
The bicycle, they arrested the bicycle. They call it the bike of the devil. You know, this is the shaitan devil. You know, something they saw something they never saw before. So they arrested the bicycle and they cut it pieces by the sword. They start hitting it by the sword. The Sharia law order to kill the bike. So you are talking about people trying to understand them in your own atmosphere.
Yeah.
Don't do that. If you want to understand the time of Moses, go back to the time of Moses. You want to understand the time of Jesus, go back to the time of Jesus. Same about Muhammad. So we don't, you know, what we always think about is how in the world they do that at that time. I mean, those things you are talking about, they are happening even today.
Yeah.
A guy, he made a leak in WikiLeaks. He is wanted in more than 25 countries.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe a million years from now, you will say, look how savage they are. Right?
Yeah.
Look how savage. A guy, he just did what? And he did not even lie. He posted something truthful.
Yeah.
So you judge by your mentality today, but you don't want to see what's happening in the ground. That this guy, when he made this leak, he harmed a lot of organizations or a lot of powerful people or even countries, you know. Like posting a video about American killing Iraqi. It's just a stupid video, but it is going to do a big harm to America. So because of that, they will go after you and they will put you in jail. So now if I say to you, how in the world somebody post a video, he will spend 20 years in jail. The reason why is because they consider that he put like American assets at risk. So like soldiers and stuff, right? But at the end of the day, in your logic, it's just a video. He posted a video, freedom of speech and freedom of express, right? So
no, I don't believe in absolute freedom of speech. I do think that there are consequences.
There's many people they support those guys and they say they are right to do that. They have the right to do that. This is your belief.
I'm not sure. I think it's tricky. I think it's a tricky problem.
Just today we saw in the news a woman. She is going to be lashed 143 lashes, and she will stay for 38 years in jail in Iran for asking for human rights. 38 years. A guy, he is sentenced for 10 years in jail in Malaysia. Why? Because he made a post in Twitter. A post in Twitter.
It's terrible.
Okay. So we are in this time, 2019. 2 days ago, a person is going to jail for 10 years for insulting Islam. And yet we are trying to explain what people did for many centuries away, but yet we forgot that nothing really changed. You know?
Yeah.
And what you think is it's evil, for them it is good. There's many people support this, correct? There's many people against it. So
Yeah.
what you think for you is evil, always consider that there's somebody else he think is good, and even
Yeah.
it's perfect. So when we judge what happened in Spain, for me, I have to look what happened really in Spain. If I am a king and there's people who join my enemy and they betray me and they help to kill my people and to destroy my nation and to be under slavery for almost 800 years, what I should do? You have to put yourself in that position.
Yeah.
And then you will understand what happened. And still, we need to go back on time and remember that this was a war. It was not a party of slow dance.
Yeah. So I just want to say thank you so much for this opportunity. I was kind of taken back when you called me. I was in the middle of cooking and I was like,
right.
what? I'm live?
No.
So I wasn't expecting that, but I want to say thank you for this discussion. We should do it again sometime. And I would like to also share this video on my channel as well, because I think we had a really good conversation.
No problem. You are welcome, my friend.
So
download my videos,
yeah.
because I don't keep them ready in my channel, just to let you know.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, and let's do it again sometime. Thank you so much.
Anytime. Feel free to call me anytime. You are welcome.
Okay. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.